All right, in my last video, we talked about how to solve one-step equations using addition and subtraction. And now we're going to learn how to solve one-step equations using multiplication and division. Again, our essential statement is a statement that you are going to confidently say after you finish watching this video. So we have the same type of steps that we are dealing with when we did addition and subtraction, but what we're going to do is keep writing them again. So when we're doing multiplication and division, again, our goal is to isolate the variable. And remember, isolate is to get alone, and the variable is the letter. So we want to be able to get the letter alone. So let's look at our steps again. Our step number 1. And here is our first example problem. V over 6 is equal to 10. So again, our first step is to always put a line down the equal sign. That shows us we need to balance the equation, and the variable wants to be alone on one side of the line. Our step number 2 is to find the side with the variable. Again, we have this side, the left-hand side of the equal sign has our variable v. Our third step is to find the number bothering the variable. So if we're looking at it, 6 is bothering the variable. 6 is on this side of the equation. We need to get it on the other side. And we see this line right here and we think of fraction. Fractions are just mini division problems. I want to put that as a side note when we get to our after our next step. Remember, our next step is to perform the opposite operation. And again, fractions are just mini division problems. So if we see our little line right here, that means that's division. The opposite of division is multiplication. And vice versa. The opposite of multiplication is division. So when we see this down here, it's kind of like you have a fraction of 1/6 v. Now, the reason we multiply by 6 is because we are doing the opposite reciprocal. So in order to get this 6 out of the way, we need to do the opposite, and we need to do the reciprocal. So that's why it's 6 over 1. And whatever we do on one side, we also do on the other side. So we're going to multiply by 6. And that brings us to step number 5, which is whatever we do on one side, we do to the other. So if we are multiplying by 6 on one side, we're multiplying by 6 on the other side. So then our v is by itself, and we have 10 times 6. and 10 times 6 is 60. Now again, we can always check our work in these equations to make sure we are correct. So we're going to check your work by plugging in the answer for the variable. So again, does 60 divided by 6, does that equal 10? If I have $60 and I have 6 friends, how much money does each friend get? Right, 10. So we are correct. All right, let's do 3 example problems, and then we have some work on our worksheet. So example number 1. X over 2 is equal to -1. All right, so let's look at our steps. We put a line down the equal sign. We're going to find the side with a variable. This side has the variable, which means everything else needs to go on the other side. We're going to find the number bothering the variable. The number bothering the variable is 2. We notice that this is a fraction, which means it's a mini division problem. We need to do the opposite of division, which is multiplication. So we're going to multiply by 2. And whatever we do on one side, we also do to the other. So we're going to multiply by 2. This gets rid of the 2 in the denominator. So you have x is equal to -1 times 2. And the reason we use a dot in multiplication is so it doesn't confuse it with the variable. So -1 times 2 is going to be -2. Remember, if you have a positive number and a negative number, when you multiply them together, it's going to be negative. All right, and again, you can check your work. Does -2 divided by 2 equal -1? It sure does. All right, example number 2. If I have $50 is equal to 5x. You can also think to yourself, 5 times what number? Because remember, this is a multiplication because they're really, really close together. So we need to do the opposite. But let's start out with our steps. Step number 1, we put a line down the equal sign. Step number 2, we're finding the side with the variable. My x is the variable. We need to find the number bothering the variable. That number is 5. We need to get that 5 out of there. So we're going to perform the opposite operation. Like I said earlier, when they're really, really close together, that's multiplication. Let's put that as a note. Really close together is multiplication. So we need to do the opposite of multiplication, which is division. And a lot of people put this line here because, again, division is just a mini fraction. So we're going to divide by 5. 5 divided by 5 on both sides. So this gets rid of the 5 here. 50 divided by 5 is 10, and that's what x is. You can also think about what number times 5 equals 50. 5 times 10 is 50. All right, our last example. If I were to have 10 over 7 equal to n over 7. Tricky, tricky. Let's fix this 10. All right, let's go through our steps again. Put a line down the equal sign. We're going to find the side with the variable. We've got n as our variable. N is like, I don't want to be bothered. We're going to find the number bothering the variable. 7 is bothering our variable. With what operation? Remember, fractions are just mini division problems, so this is division. We need to do the opposite of division, which is multiplication. We need to multiply by 7 on both sides. And whatever we do on one side, we also do to the other. And we do some math. We're going to take this out. Now, 7 times 10 over 7. The best part about multiplication with fractions is it's the easiest. So what we do to take this 7 to make it a whole number is putting it over 1. And when we multiply by those fractions, all we need to do is multiply across. So 7 times 10 is 70. 1 times 7 is 7. And let's see if we can reduce that. 70 divided by 7, that just gets me 10. So 10 is equal to n. You could also think about it as, okay, if this is 10, the 7's on the same side, this is easily 10. Thanks for watching, and hope you can confidently say, I know how to solve one-step equations using multiplication and division.